You know how we're always told that hardship is something that breaks us, something we should just avoid at all costs? Well, what if that's only half the story? What if all that pressure is actually a forge, creating a kind of resilience so powerful, it's basically a superpower? That's what we're going to dig into.
This quote, it just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? If you're someone who has quietly gone through more than you ever talk about, you might feel a little different from everyone else. And it's not because you're broken. It's because you're carrying a very rare kind of strength, one that was built in silence and struggle.
So, what is this power exactly? Well, it's not just one thing. It's actually a whole collection of psychological strengths that are pretty much impossible to develop unless you've walked through some kind of fire. Let's break down what they actually are.
Okay, so this first set of strengths is all about your inner world. It's like you've built this fortress inside yourself that can handle pretty much any storm. It's all about mastering your own response when chaos decides to show up. Think of this like a vaccine, but for stress. Seriously, when you've been through some really tough stuff, your brain kind of learns the pattern. It's seen the virus of chaos before, right? So when new problems come along, it doesn't hit the big red panic button nearly as fast. Your system has literally built up an immunity.
And this is what that looks like in real life. You become the calm center while everything else is swirling around you. People might even look at you and wonder, how are they not freaking out? But the secret is simple. You're steady because you've already seen worse. Now this next idea is huge because it completely reframes the whole experience. This isn't just about bouncing back to where you were. It's about growing stronger because of what happened. Real endurance, real resilience, you can't learn that in a book. It's built brick by painful brick, right in the middle of the struggle. You know, there's this really beautiful idea that when a bone breaks, it can actually heal back stronger than it ever was before. Well, the exact same thing is true for the human spirit. The healing process itself builds a brand new kind of strength that just wasn't there before the break. All right, so let's move on. That internal fortress doesn't just protect you, it actually changes how you see the entire world. Hardship doesn't just build walls, it sharpens the windows, giving you a kind of perception that most people completely miss. When you've had to get through difficult or, unpredictable situations, you learn to pay attention to what's not being said. It's like you develop this instinctual radar. You can sense these tiny shifts in a room's energy, in someone's tone of voice, or what their real motivations are. Because at some point, your survival might have actually depended on it.
And here's a perfect way to think about it. Most people are operating on the surface level, just listening to the words people say, but you've learned to operate on a much deeper level. You hear the words, sure, but you're also feeling the intention behind them. It's a skill that's almost subconscious.
And all of that awareness leads to this. Instead of just slapping a label on someone like good or bad, you become an observer of human nature. You start seeing patterns, and you start asking a much smarter question. Okay, what's motivating this person to do what they're doing? That, right there, is a massive sign of social intelligence. So really, what it all boils down to is this. You've developed this ability to look right past the surface action, the what, and understand the deeper emotional thing that's driving it all, the why. And that gives you a really profound understanding of people.
All right, let's get to our final pair of strengths. And honestly, these might be the most important of all. We've talked about inner strength and sharp perception. This last set is all about where you draw your power from and how you manage your own emotional gas tank.
This is probably the deepest lesson that hardship teaches you. You see, pain teaches you something that confidence just can't. You learn that you don't actually need anyone's approval to survive. You figure out that your true foundation, your core strength, it comes from inside you. You are the source.
And look at this comparison. It's so stark, right? So many people build their sense of self on the shifting sands of other people's opinions. But when you go through the storm, you learn how to build on the solid bedrock of your own spirit. One is fragile, the other is unshakable.
You know, a lot of people think that tough experiences make you cold or numb, but that's not it. Not really. They make you controlled. You develop this incredibly deep understanding of other people's pain because you know what pain feels like, but you also learn where you end and they begin. And this is the absolute pinnacle of emotional maturity. Empathy with boundaries. Being able to feel for someone deeply without letting their chaos pull you under, that is an incredibly rare and valuable skill. It's what lets you help other people without destroying yourself in the process. So let's pull all these threads together now. These aren't just a bunch of separate traits. They all weave together to form a really unique and powerful kind of person. This is a strength that was earned, never just given.
And here they are, the 6 core strengths all together. You've got stress inoculation and post-traumatic growth, which forge that steady core. You have hyper-awareness and the ability to observe people, which give you that sharpened perception. And finally, that internal locus of control and emotional regulation, they grant you true self-mastery.
If any of this has been resonating with you, I really want you to let this final message sink in. The parts of yourself that you might have thought were damaged or flawed, they are actually the source of your greatest power. You are not weak, and you are not broken. You're forged.
And that leaves us with one final, really crucial question. This isn't just about understanding your past. It's about your future. You've earned this strength, this perception, this resilience. The real question now is, what are you going to do with it? We love breaking down psychology-based insights just like these to help you understand yourself and the world on a way deeper level. So if that's something you're into, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on what's coming next.